It's happening. I look, I only have this much beer.
Well, we can fix that.
Yeah. Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. It's Thursday, the first day of the week that we do a live thing. I was telling someone who is interested in starting their own YouTube channel, and they were asking me, well, what are some of your favorite videos to do? And I'm like, well, the live ones are one of my all-time favorite things to do. And I had to count, because I'm like, well, we do 3 live things every week, and I'm like, that can't be right. No, that's right. It's because we do a Thursday thing, we do a Friday thing, and we do a Sunday thing, and they're all basically just me yelling at the thing. But yeah, it's really super fun to connect with you guys and to have a beer with you guys at the end of the day. You know what I did all day today, Chris? You know what I did, but do you know what I did?
No, Matt, what did you do?
I cleaned all day, and then I made a big mess, and then I had to clean that. So if you guys enjoyed the bandsaw video that I published this morning, I've got part 2 of that coming very soon. And that's where I finish out the Strat construction with on the pin router and the shaper, not in that order. And that's going to be a fun one. And we hit a snag this morning. You weren't there, but some of the reaction videos that we did, we need to redo because so people do this to me. They're like, hey, I can't hear the video. And we're like, well, you're tuning into me to watch me yell at the camera. You know, it's the Dumb Matt Show. So I urge you guys to go and watch I know you guys do. You go and watch the videos after you watch me, and Chris make dick and fart jokes during the thing. And then
that's what I want to do.
Chris has diarrhea
really
jokes.
Don't.
Well, I'll be over here working on my diarrhea jokes for the review. So but yeah, so I know you guys go and watch those videos and show everyone some love. But what was happening was there was one that it was way too loud, and he had music, and it was just like gang, 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 gang. It was like heavy metal music,
and then we sped it up.
And then we sped it up. So
yeah,
it was not cool. So
yeah,
I would like to thank my friend Jim. He brought us by some Coors products, and he brought us by some glasses so we can represent the brand while we're in. Because he was like, I got to get rid of those Guinness glasses.
Yeah, we got to get rid of those Guinness glasses.
These are nice, though.
They are, and he brought us all sorts of beer.
He did. It's not all cold, and I kind of think that some of the higher test beer I want to drink when it's cold.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
we got some Peruvian beer.
Yeah. You're drinking all that while it's kind of slightly cooler than room temperature?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris is a good beer drinker, you guys.
I'll drink anything. So, yeah.
So anyhow,
I'd rather drink a lukewarm Peruvian beer than a lukewarm Coors Light.
You and Brad Ango probably cut from the same cloth, amigo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am not a big drinker. I drink socially, but I can't really pay the freight for hard alcohol, and I fear that this week is going to be it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to get to bed really late every night, and I'm going to stay out goofing around with all the guys because it's going to be a fun class coming up. So if you guys are not aware, what's happening is on Monday we start the build and paint a guitar with Mike Learn. It's the Warbird class that we did. Mike actually came to my shop, and we did one of those what would Mike Learn do, or what would some other guitar maker do?
What would Mike Learn build? And
up to that point, we've done guitar builders who were not here, and I was just guessing. And we thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to have a what would Mike Learn do? And then Mike could actually come, and you could see not what Matt thinks Mike would do, but what Mike would actually do, which was wildly different from what I thought it was going to be. But anyhow, so we should revive that series. I would like to do some more what would so and so do, we're not exactly we don't exactly have a ton of free time. You know what I mean? We've got some builds coming up that I think would be great fun for like what would Billy Gibbons do, or what would so and so somebody do, that are some projects that guys have commissioned. We could just turn those into videos. That might be really fun.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So anyway, it looks like we got a super chat here from
Brian Duncan.
Brian Duncan. Here's to guitar nerds and drinking beer. God bless you, Brian. Thanks so much, man.
Hey, who's a nerd?
You.
Yeah, I am. You ready for our first question?
No, I'm not, because
okay.
Jim, who is our Coors connection, he's a really cool guy, and if you follow us on Instagram, you saw a picture of him yesterday. He's like the super cool like rockabilly guy, and he's just a cool guy, and he's got a genuine article 57 Stratocaster. And if you want to see a guitar nerd, Chris Fesker, so
when we go over there, I'm not even a Strat guy, but I'll be a Strat guy that day.
That's right. We are going to be doing a lot. So he bought a guitar from us that was in production, and it's the Prostitute, that purple one. And so he needs to have it ready by end of May or something. No, by the way, Chris, it has to be done by the end of May.
Okay.
And we have all the parts for it. It's already painted.
Yeah, that's not a.
It just has to be, wet sanded and buffed. And
why has it got to be done by the end of May?
He's got a show that he wants to play it at that brewery he was talking about.
At Odyssey.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So one of his friends has a brewery and he wants to play it there. So anyhow.
Yeah. What did the people at Coors think of him drinking other beer?
Brother, if I knew, I would
sure
tell you.
They have no issue with that.
Yeah. So anyway, he's got a basement bar at his house. And you guys have heard that I got a basement bar at my house. It looks like you're walking into like a Bennigan's or something. There's a bunch of crazy crap on the wall, and there's like lights behind all the bottles, and it's a legit bar. And so he's like, hey, you got to come over to my place and check out my Strat. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a live stream from his place. His bar. It's called the Upright Lounge. If you want to see pictures of it, you can go check it out on Facebook, the Upright Lounge. And that's the bar at his house. And you should check out Jim Jam Jimmy. That's his band. His son plays in it. I think his son plays drums, right?
His son's apparently a monster drummer.
Monster drummer. And so check him out. Anyway, he's buying a guitar from us. I think we're going to be doing a live stream from his place. And I think we're going to get to see the genuine Article 57 Strat. And you'll get to see Chris giddy as a schoolgirl.
Yeah.
Who was never giddy even as a schoolgirl.
Nope. During all of my schoolgirl days, never as giddy.
You never even broke all the rules. Yeah.
Nope.
Mrs. Toast went to an all-girls school, and she totally broke all the rules.
I went to an all-boys school.
Did you really? Oh, yeah. There's no chicks at the all-boys.
Yeah, you never saw a parking lot empty out on a Friday faster than Friday at an all-boys school. Yeah, tires squealing, guys running.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Yeah. We're done. We're going someplace where there's chicks.
Okay, so I think I'm done talking about whatever I was talking about. I'm ready to move on to live Q&A. Have a beer with Uncle Matt. I love have a beer with Uncle Matt Q&As. I think they're better than just like the dry. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess you put those frets in, and
Yeah.
It's way more fun. So
yep,
I'm ready.
So TJ98J asks, I want to see a Texas Toast take on a Jazzmaster. Have you considered it on a Texas Toast take on the shape and configuration?
Funny you should ask. We have not one, not two, but 3 takes on the classic Jazzmaster. All of them can be seen on our website. One of them is we go into great detail about. We call those the Casanova. So there is the thing that looks a lot like a regular Fender Jazzmaster. We call that the Casanova LTD. Then we have one that has Fender lines, but our set neck, or it could be set neck or bolt on, but it's not a Fender neck. It's our neck.
It's our neck. It's our headstock.
And it's our headstock, and it has a opaque or sunburst finish.
24 3/4 scale.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So the LTD has 25 and a half.
Yeah, it's
has Jazzmaster pickups and a pick guard.
Yeah.
The Casanova, or the one that is the next step up, is the Casanova Deluxe.
The Deluxe
Casanova Deluxe. And then we have my favorite Jazzmaster of all time, which is a Jazzmaster shape, our neck, usually fabric top, but not necessarily bound, 2 humbuckers, whatever bridge you want, anything. The sky's the limit, and we call that one the Super Casanova. Do you know where the name Super Casanova?
Tell people.
So, I like having kind of silly names for guitars. So I don't think the Daily Driver is a silly name for a guitar. I think the Prostitute is a silly name for a guitar. And I think the Super Casanova is like a super cool name for a guitar, but it's kind of funny. It came from one of my favorite bands, Fu Manchu, has on the album Daredevil, I think, they have a song called Slee Stack. The reason I know all this stuff is because I had to ask. I kind of know a little bit. I don't, like, if I call up the guy, okay, I built a couple of guitars for Brad from Fu Manchu, and if I call him up, I can't just be like, hey, dude, what's going on? I don't know him like that. But if I send him an email and remind him who I am, he'll be like, oh, yeah, hey, man. I had to ask him what the lyric Super Casanova, what song that was on, because I couldn't find it. And so he told me it's on a song called Slee Stack, which if you watched Land of the Lost, you know what a Slee Stack is. And if you're into Fu Manchu like I am, the song title has nothing to do with the song, generally speaking. It's just like kind of this like funky, stoner kind of cool stuff. And I'm not a stoner. I just play one on TV. But Brad is like super cool, and I love Fu Manchu. So we guys in Fu Manchu, Scott used to play a Jaguar, not a Jazzmaster, but he played a Jag. So I like that shape, and I wanted to have something that kind of was reminiscent of Fu Manchu. So we called that the Super Casanova. Does that make any sense at all, or is that just Matt just kind of forcing things to fit into his narrative?
That makes sense, okay. And it's a cool name for a cool guitar. And
you have one, don't you?
I have one. Yeah, I have. How many Super Casanovas are there? 3?
Well, Jared has one, you have one, and there might be another one floating around.
Might be one more, yeah.
There's one Casanova Deluxe and 3 or 4 Casanova LTDs floating around.
There's only one Casanova
There's only one Casanova Deluxe, and I think it actually sold on Reverb recently. Or like in the last year, right?
Yeah,
Gary
the
sold
original
it.
guy, the original guy that bought it from us. And I think he has a Super Casanova, and that was one of the reasons that's
right. You're absolutely right. He didn't want the Casanova Deluxe anymore. He wanted a Super Casanova.
Yeah, so he sold it, and the guy bought it and got a hold of us, and he's like, this thing's really cool, and I really like that guitar.
It was ice blue metallic. I'm sorry, it was Antarctic blue.
Antarctic blue?
Yeah.
No, metallic P. Antarctic blue. Yeah. And it was really neat. It had the world's beefiest neck.
It was a Texas Toast neck.
And that guitar was sort of, it was around for a little while, and it was at my house for a little while, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna
like this guitar.
Throw money at this guitar and make it mine. And right about then,
Gary said,
"Oh, that one, I'll take that." So,
Gary's a cool guy, yeah.
So I lost out on that guitar. What a bummer.
But yeah, we haven't made we don't exactly have a lot of like production guitars going. I take that back. There's some Challengers going, because I like having Challengers going, but we should probably consider, Chris, doing a run of Super Casanovas.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Or deluxes,
or at least
something.
A couple. Yeah. Go all out.
What would you do? Would you do fabric top, or would you do like maple with sunburst or something?
Yeah, that might be fun too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bound and okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Although the rounded over
it's pretty nice.
Was pretty nice, but we can still do forearm contours with binding and stuff like that. That's what I've got. And it's neat. I like it quite a bit.
Okay.
So I haven't sold it yet. That must mean something. Okay.
So yes, we love Jazzmasters here. Actually, we love all the Fender offsets.
We love Jazzmasters way more than you would think.
Long time.
We love Jazzmaster a long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, if you look at the Challenger shape, you can see there's a little bit of an offset there. Not as much as like a Cower or something where there's like kind of a real lobey thing on the end, but there's a little bit of an offset. And we like offset guitars.
Jim Bucket says, how soon will we see the mythical carved top Challenger? Can't wait to see it.
Well, Jim, there are 2 in the works right now. One for Tony and one for my friend Chris Ernst. And there probably will be a few more coming. I want to get the carve just right. So that's the tricky thing. And I think what I need to do is just jump in. Remember, Chris, I said I wanted to have the carved top Challenger ready to go by March. Like by March 1, I want to have something like happening.
That was so cute.
It was. But we're running out of time. But I think so that guitar is going to be a really popular one, and I want to get it happening. You guys, if you've ever been to the shop, you know that the wall over here is loaded with guitars, and right now there's more Challengers on the wall than there normally are. But my goal is to have fewer and fewer like SGs and Explorers and stuff like that, or I'm sorry, Prostitutes and Adventurers, and Doug Santaniello's Flying B is over there. I want to have fewer of those, not because I don't enjoy them, but because I want to really start to push the Challenger. And I really do want to push the carved top Challenger, but I don't want to rush it and then have it go, I need a design change. You know what I mean? So I want to figure out like what bridge is going to go on that, because it's a carved top, so it can't be the same bridge necessarily that's going on the flat top guitar. And I want the carve to, again, it's an offset, so I want the carve to work, and it can't be like exactly symmetrical on each side, but it's got to kind of almost be symmetrical, if you will. So yes, very, very, very soon, I think.
Cool. Doug says, hey, Doug, you can add one for me.
Yay! All right. Doug, I want you to know something. I know you're coming out here this week, and I have purposely sold everything that's crazy cool on the wall, so you won't be tempted to buy. And you know what I mean? There was, and it was touch and go, dude. But like one, I actually sold it to Jim yesterday. I'm like, I got to get rid of this, or Doug's going to be like, that's too cool. I got to have that. Is there anything on there that like Doug probably will want to I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think we're barely okay.
Yeah. But I think I would, Doug, if you really want one, I'll go ahead and I've got 2 bodies down here. Okay, wait, will you grab me one of those bodies down there, Chris? Please, so I can show. And not because what I'm going to show you guys is not the carved top, but rather that's the one. So this is what the Challenger, both the flat top and the carved top, are going to be like. They're not weight relieved as much as they're semi-hollow. So there's not a bunch of holes drilled in them. You know what I mean? They're all semi-hollow. Now the profile of this has not been cut out, but the interior has been done, and the place for the bridge is here, pickups and everything. And there's been a lot of thought has gone into this throughout many years of prototyping, and so that's why I want to get the carve just right. Wouldn't you agree, Chris? I mean, like some of this stuff, like it's like you don't think about it until you don't do it, and then you do it, and you're like, why didn't we do that before? So these carves actually go into, they just kiss the pickup cavity, so we don't have to drill a hole from the pickup cavity to the thing. It's already there. You know what I mean? And so the switch that's up here, the pickup goes there, so you don't have to drill a hole. You don't have to have a bunch of that stuff. And of course, it's lighter weight, so when people pick it up, the very best thing that you can do, I think, when you pick up a guitar is say nothing. The worst thing that you can do is go, oh God, so heavy. Yeah. And to some people, picking it up and go, wow, it's really light. It's not. Then it kind of feels like toyish almost. But we wanted something that had a little bit of heft to it, but wasn't ridiculous, and you could play it all night, especially if you're getting a little long in the tooth like Chris is.
Yeah.
No, like we all are. You know what I mean? Because like I used to be, I didn't care about heavy guitars and heavy stuff, and now I'm like, oh, the lighter the better. So.
Yep. That's a good segue into our next question.
Okay.
Rob Hag wants to know, what is the best way to drill a hole for a toggle switch for running wires Les Paul style on a telly? So he wants to put a toggle switch in the upper bout.
So Rob, the best way I think would be to get a 1 11/16 Forstner bit and go from the back and drill until you have like 3/16. And then where the little pokey pointy bit for the Forstner is, that's what you chase with your 1/2-inch brad point bit and make the hole for the switch. So now you have a switch that's Les Paul size, 1 11/16, with a whole a whole 1/2-inch hole for the switch to go in. And then all you have to do is come up with a route for the cover. And you can do that with a Forstner bit too. You get a little bit bigger Forstner bit, or you can get a template and use that.
And then how would you do a hole from the?
Now, yeah, you're going to have to go from the pickup to the hole, and the best way to do that is with a 2-foot long drill bit. As I was saying it, I'm like, that's not right, but it is. It's a 2-foot long drill bit or longer, and you just got to kind of get it up in there. I think it is usually easier to go from the littlest hole to the biggest hole. But in that case, you're actually going to be going from the biggest hole to the littlest hole. It's not. Can you hear the keyboard command? Hole.
Not a big shake to get.
Yeah, it's easy to get from here to here.
That one's pretty easy.
Yeah, so you can do it. You just got to have a long drill bit.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
We got some super chats from the Dawgs.
Yeah. Yep.
Doug says you can. Well, thank you so much, Doug. I'm so glad to have both Dougs coming out. That's going to be fun. So the week after the Mike Learn class, like the week after, we've got a Build a Classic Set Net class, which is totally fun. And Doug Cook is coming out for that. And he says, wife here's Doug, don't need help getting in. We're not talking. Tammy, we're talking about Doug Santaniello, not Doug Cook.
Yeah, we'll let you know when Doug Cook starts.
We'll cover for you too, Doug. Yeah, when you're ready to start throwing money, we'll cover you.
We haven't let you down yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I think I broke this thing.
What'd you broke?
Nothing.
All right.
Not answering that question.
Why not? Now I gotta hear it. Is it, hey Matt, how come you're so sexy?
Greg Pillavant says, I got to ask a question when buying lumber for the shop. If you're getting wood for more than 4 hours, do you have to call a doctor?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
It is.
Doug Cook throwing shade your way. I was there the first week in January. This carve is pretty much done.
No.
That carve was pretty much done.
Yeah, that carve was pretty much done.
Jerry Redburn says, Jim saved my marriage yesterday. I was planning on bringing that one home. LOL.
Yeah. I don't know how Jim's marriage is faring. Although he took some pictures and he was like showing his wife, and he's like, I'm 95% sure I want to buy it. And he sent me a thing. I'm presumably like his wife's like, you gotta get that. It's because Jim is kind of a like he can pull that guitar off. You know what I mean? Because he's kind of like he played a upright bass that had pinstripes on it. So like pinstripes to him are like that's, you gotta have it. That just goes with that goes on the guitar.
Yep.
So yeah, not everybody can pull that look off.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. TJ98J.
Okay. Here's another question.
How thick is the Texas Toast neck at the first fret? Is it standardized or does it vary?
Well, TJ, all of our necks are made to order. So if you say whatever you think, Matt, it's going to be probably 860 thousandths or so at the first fret and 900 thousandths at the 12th fret or so. And it will be a C profile. And that's what I like to do. If you call and say, I want a thinner neck, I'll say, well, go measure the neck you like, and we'll match that. And we do. If you want a thicker neck, I'll say, go measure the neck you like, or go get the Fender or the Gibson or whatever spec and say, tell me what you like and send me a picture. Or if you say, I want this neck that Ted Newman Jones made for, who was it? Ron Wood. And it's 800 thousandths at the nut and 110 thousandths at the 12th fret. And it starts out a C shape and turns into an asymmetric V shape at the 8th fret. Well, we can do that too. And we have. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you guys exactly how we did it, but if you were paying attention, well, I'm not going to tell you who we did it for, because that was a ghost built guitar. But if you were paying attention, you might know. Can we say that who we did that one for? Or that's probably okay.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like we're the only ones that did.
That's true.
Stuff for them.
I don't know why everything has to be a secret.
Everything has to be a secret.
But like, so we built a couple guitars for Newman guitars. We ghost, and it's not like we're the only guy built for Newman.
No, there were.
We only do two. We only have
shocked
two.
at how many people do that.
Yeah.
How many people build Newmans.
And so we would love to do that again for Jeff. He's a cool guy. But he also understands, look, you guys have your own thing going. And I think he needs the guitars a little bit faster than we told him we could do. We're like, oh yeah, dude, you're looking at like 8 to 10 months for these instruments. You know what I mean? They're not, because they're not tellies. So.
Yep.
Oh, I love that air, Chris.
Sorry, isn't that great?
It's really fun.
Yeah. Do you use glue when you install frets? If so, what kind?
Yes, we do sometimes, and no, we don't sometimes.
What's the over under on when we do and when we don't?
Some of it is just Matt's whim.
Yeah.
Or how easy it is to get the glue. I do not think when you are building instruments new that glued in frets are necessarily a big deal. And let me qualify this. If your fret slot is super, super deep and you've got a bunch of air and light shining under your fret, then gluing in the fret might be a good thing to do. If you decide that you want to do that, you can use super glue. I don't like to use super glue because I just don't like it. If it was me, I would use Titebond for that. I can't stress this enough. If I could only have one kind of glue in the shop, it would be Titebond Original. It would not be Titebond 2 Electric Boogaloo. It would not be Titebond 3 Now It's Personal. It would be Titebond Original, the stuff I've been using for years. And people go, you mean you glue in metal to wood with that? If you've ever scraped Titebond off of a metal ruler that's been stuck on there, you know that it does not want to give up the ghost. So using Titebond kind of lubricates the fret going in. That's a good thing. And it absolutely positively holds it in place. You could use whatever glue you wanted. And this is where people are going, what about fish glue? Because they saw Paul Reed Smith say fish glue. And have you ever heard of fish glue before, like a couple years ago?
No.
Paul Reed Smith did a video where he was talking about the glue that they use. They use CA glue to glue in frets. And he's like, we tried it all. We tried fish glue because we heard that the Gibson guys did it. And like after that video came out, everybody started talking about fish glue. And Stu Mack was offering fish glue. And I'm like, fish glue? Get out of here with fish glue. So anyway, I don't use fish glue, but if you like fish glue, go crazy. If you like hide glue, knock yourself out. I like Titebond. That's what I use. If you like, super glue, CA glue, use that. That's harder to clean up. It's not water soluble. So, yeah. But what if we don't use glue to glue in frets? If the fret slot is cut properly and not oversized for the fret wire, and that's different from fret wire to fret wire. But if the fret goes in tight, the glue is only just sort of acting as a little bit extra. You know what I mean? It's sort of like saying, well, I'm going to use this. I'm going to nail my house together. I'm going to nail the studs together, but I'm going to put glue in there too. Well, if you've got a nice fit between the metal and the wood, you don't need to put glue on there, unless you see, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's some things that, like, it's just overkill. Now, if you've got a loose fret, you can glue it in. If you've got a slot that's too big and the fret's kind of hollered out and wobbling around, you probably need to use glue. But you want the mechanical joint to do the lion's share of the work. You know what I mean? A dovetail joint is good to go as is. You glue it together so that it stays together for a long time. But the real strength of the joint is not the glue at that point. It's the mechanical. So it's the key path of the joint. So
there you go. This may be the most important question I've ever asked.
What's the address to send beer?
No, well, second most important question ever. What makes Mighty Little, the file, so good? What kind of file is it?
Who asked that?
That's a secret. Liam
wants to know. Okay, so he knows about Mighty Little.
Yeah.
I think the myth of Mighty Little is probably it's just a double cut bastard file that I cut the little tit off the end.
The little handle.
The little handle in the tang.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on.
I'll get it.
Sorry guys. Who had 532 for the air compressor to go off? All right. Okay. So Mighty Little is just a file that it's a double cut file. So it's got teeth going this way and going this way. It's not super aggressive. It's not super big.
No.
But for some things, it's really the size of Mighty Little. It's big enough to do some big jobs and small enough to do some small jobs. Mm-hmm. It's way too big to do teeny tiny work, and it's way too small to do big work.
It's a lot like your finger as far as size goes. You can sort of mimic your finger.
But Mighty Little is more myth and legend than it is file at this point. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually used Mighty Little. Yeah, but like the way I talk about it, I use it every day.
Yeah.
And hey, where's Mighty Little? Who took my file? God dang it! Yeah.
Carry it in your pocket.
Yeah. It's. I knew some guys who were gunsmiths back in the early '90s, and they were also into Frank Zappa. Will you grab me one too, Chris? Mm-hmm. And my friend Kyle, who now works at the Shellooe Sharps rifle factory in Big Timber, Montana, making those Quigley Down Under rifles. He had a file that he called Mighty Little, and I'm like, well, I got to have a file called Mighty Little too, because of the Frank Zappa song "Moving to Montana," which Kyle did. So anyway, so that's what Mighty Little is really more myth and legend than it is file at this point.
And sometimes you have a favorite tool that may not be the exact right tool for any particular job, but you've gotten used to the way that it works.
Exactly,
and you know what it's capable of doing or not doing.
Sure.
And so, yeah. And by the way, Big Jim Filey is twice the file that Mighty Little is.
It's twice the size of Mighty Little.
Let's fight.
For sure.
Big Jim Filey's got two different cutting edges.
So Mighty Little really shines with binding. on the neck. That's where Mighty Little really like comes into its own. Side dots and binding on the neck and like getting rid of the, like if you're doing a Gibson style binding job where there's little nubs on the end, Mighty Little is like super, super awesome.
Yeah.
I have another file that I really like that's got the same teeth, but it's like 3/8 wide. It's not the full file size, and it's pretty good, but not like I'd want to have each. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mighty Little.
There you go. D Darko asks, I just bought a Telecaster body made out of ash, and it's super heavy. Is that normal?
Well, there's ash, and then there's ash. So, is it normal for some ash? You bet. Ash comes in two varieties at least. The type that we're going to talk about in the next few minutes are northern hard ash and swamp ash. They both come from the same tree. It's where you cut it on the tree, generally speaking. The swamp ash is very soft, and we actually were working with swamp ash today, and it's when you machine it, it's like it turns to flour. I was coughing and sneezing and hacking. I should have been wearing a mask, but I wasn't. And northern hard ash is like baseball bat ash.
Yeah, you got to remember they make baseball bats out of ash as well as guitar bodies.
Yeah,
out of the same.
So yeah, if you get a Louisville Slugger, it's made from ash, but it's not made from swamp ash. It's made from northern hard ash. I would say that if you had exactly dimensionally identical Telecaster bodies, that one made out of northern hard ash and one made out of swamp ash, to have one weigh 2-3 times as much would not surprise me at all. I bet you could have a one-piece swamp ash body weigh 2 pounds, and a one-piece northern hard ash, baseball bat ash, bunk bed ash, it might as well be oak, weigh, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 pounds, same exact dimensions. So ash for a Telecaster, Happy Meal, cool. Northern hard ash for a body, really heavy. If you don't care about weight, then
still looks
then
cool.
You're back in Happy Meal time. Yeah. But yeah, if you do care about weight, then yeah.
It gets really heavy really fast.
And there's no way to lighten it up. There's no way to do it. I remember Mac had that one, it was a Tele body, and we're like, well, let's hog a bunch of it. Was like, no matter what we did, it still made. It was a truck, man.
Yeah. Drill a bunch of holes, weight relieving holes, put a top on it. Yeah, do all this stuff. Still really heavy.
Yeah.
And
so bearing that in mind, if you say, well, I want to get an ash body, all I can source locally, like for us, all we can source locally is northern hard ash. You can't make it light enough. You just can't. So whatever money you're saving by using that and trying to make it light, you're not going to be happy. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you will not be happy with that. Just pony up the money and call Dan or somebody else. Dan at Guitar Wood Experts has swamp ash. I'd be happy to send you some out. Tell them the guys at Texas Toast sent you, and if you use code Texas Toast, whatever, it's in the description below. You get a discount. So yeah, and I'm not trying to move product for Dan. Dan's a friend of mine, and yeah. Anyway. What else, Chris? What else we got?
Sorry, I install frets. What makes Mighty Little so good? Why is Matt so sexy?
Why is Matt so sexy? I still don't know the answer to that. The world may never know.
Chris Hendricks has been described as a northern hard ash.
That the jokes practically write themselves.
Yeah, Richard Adorina wants to know, are you guys doing roasted bodies?
As a rule, no. If you really, really, really want roasted something, we will do our best to source that. Having said that, there are a handful of people that I trust when it comes to buying lumber. Dan at Guitar Wood Experts is one of them, and he generally has, a handful of roasted, torrefied woods that look really cool. If he doesn't have them, I don't have a source. Like, I don't have another guy who I'm like, well, I'll go to Joe Blow, the roasted man, or whatever. I don't have that guy.
Roasty Joe.
Yeah, Toasty Joe.
Yeah, the toasted guy.
Yeah. So I like working with roasted material, torrefied woods. It's cool. But as a rule, I don't do it unless you really, really want it. I also have a real issue with people sending me wood that they sourced. Because sometimes it works great and sometimes it works not so great. And I can't guarantee the product. So, yeah. So as a rule, I don't like to, I'm not saying you can't talk me into it, but as a rule, I don't like to say, hey, man, I'm sending you this thing. Now, if it came from Dan, okay, cool. I got it. If it came from, eBay, if it came from, there's a guy in area code, what is it? Somewhere that direction who sent some maple here that I'm still sitting on.
Illinois.
Yeah, that I will absolutely not take delivery from anymore. So
cool. This is a good question.
Right.
Rob Haig asks,
hey, Rob,
do your guys' inlaid fretboards come pre-fret slotted?
As a matter of fact, Rob, they do. And they come, our fret slots are 21 thousandths.
Mm-hmm.
So the fret wire from StuMac or Jesscar will work just fine with those.
You may have to chase it.
You may, but how deep are they? They're like 80 thousandths deep, 90 thousandths deep.
I've been doing. Yeah.
I'm turning my phone down here. So they absolutely do. Now, Chris, what if someone said, well, I don't want fret slots?
Cool.
Yeah, sure.
Even
deal.
better.
Yeah. But so as a rule, our there's one floating around here. I don't know where it is. But yeah,
what were you looking for?
I was just looking for that trapezoid or that block fretboard. That's just a fretboard. Yeah. So yes, they do come slotted. So like, for example, if you want a Gibson style board, like with trapezoid inlays
with trampoline inlays.
So let's say you want you're building a Les Paul style guitar and you want trapezoid inlays and you want 24 3/4, no sweat. We'll send you the board with the fret slots and the inlays. You can glue them in. We can glue them in for you. It's cooler if you glue them in. Not because it's something I don't like to do, but because I think it's neat for you guys to do that stuff. And if you say, well, what if I want 24 5/8? No sweat. What if you say, I'm building the 58 replica and I want rule of 18 fretboard? You got it. What if you want a 25-inch scale and blocks or trapezoids? No sweat. Fender style board, 25.5 with blocks or trapezoids or diamonds or little beer mugs. I happen to know that we can do that. So yeah, they all come slotted and they all come ready to go. If you have any questions, please look at the website under the, I added, did you see that, Chris? I
haven't looked at it.
I added some list of here's some options to kind of give you an idea of what we do right now and what's available and how much it costs. So on the custom inlay page, there's a list of options and what it costs, just to give you guys an idea.
So. Yeah. Cool. Efrain Camillo.
Hey, Efrain.
Wants to know, what would be the best way to put a price to a guitar or guitars that you made?
I'm assuming that he made.
Well, but he's wondering, yeah. How should I price a guitar that I made?
Well, Efren, that's the tricky business, isn't it?
It is. There are some real costs.
There are some real. So you could say, I want to at least get out of it what I have into it in material. So, okay, I think when you start out, you do a couple of things. You go, I want to start making guitars, or I've been making guitars for a long time, and I want to start selling guitars. How about that? I want to start selling guitars. If you feel that you are ready to start doing that, I think that what you have to do is consider how much you have in materials, how much you have in time, and what you plan to get out of the sale. What I mean by that is the guitar that you have $1,000 in hardware and time in that you sell to Joe Bonamassa and it becomes his new favorite guitar is worth more as a sale to Joe Bonamassa than to Joe Shit the Ragman, who no one's ever heard of and no one will ever see that guitar again. So, yeah. So think about that too. If the guitar is being sold to your friend who is cool, you might sell it for a different price than you would for someone that you hate, or someone that you don't know. And the guitar that you're selling to someone who is in a band that plays out a lot and has, a bunch of hot chicks that follow him around is going to be priced differently than the guy who plays in his, in his bedroom. I mean, that's just the way it is. So you have to take all that stuff into consideration. And you also have to figure out, well, am I doing this for a living, or am I doing this for fun? Am I doing this as a hobby that I want to make some money at? All that stuff needs to be taken into consideration. What we have done in the past is, here's another one. How long have you been sitting on that guitar? The guitar might be a little older, it's not paying rent, and you just want to get it out there. Or I'm really, really proud of this, and I want to just get it out there. That happens a lot with us. We do the Friday reveal videos. Are we going to have a guitar for a reveal video tomorrow, Chris?
You know it, baby.
All right. A guitar that we're really proud of and we want to make a good deal on. We want to get it out there right away. You know what I mean? It doesn't do us any good to have it sitting here in the shop. It does us a lot more good to have it be in your hands. So, Efren, you have to take all that. I can't. It's a sucky answer, but you gotta take all that stuff into consideration. Like I said, the guitar that you give to, I don't know, Carlos Santana. I'm sure there's some there. I bet you there's some guitar builder out there who gave a guitar or two or three to Carlos Santana and basically built his whole company. I don't know. I'm just gonna guess that there's somebody out there who did that. That guitar sold to, Zeke Santana might not have the same. You might not get the same return from that.
Yep.
So, who's Zeke Santana? Some dude.
I don't know. Zeke's
that might not be a real guy. That might not be a real guy.
Yeah. So I would say if you can recoup what you spent in materials early on, that's a good start. If people like your stuff well enough, that's a good start, and then go from there. And Matt and I have some strategies based on that stuff, and we're not going to share them.
You have to come up with your own thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But if you're gonna make your living building guitars,
you need to come up with
that's a long, hard road.
You
need to have something else that's going on as well.
You need to start making Cavaquejo.
See.
Did Tony see it?
Yeah. So Tony Lopes says, "Hey guys, sorry for being late."
It's a little bitty, but he
didn't ask about it.
No, he said, oh, okay. But I wanted to show him because this is Tony's little teeny tiny neck. Yep. It's not done yet, obviously. It's still, but look how little, look how cute it is. It's the cutest little thing. This is my favorite thing now in the shop. Blink, blink, blink. Tony has he told me about like how you tune it. And so yeah, this is a fun little thing that we're making. It's not, I told Tony too, I'm like, look, man, there's as much work in one of these. Just because it's smaller doesn't mean there's any less work. It just means it's just tinier work. So we're building him.
There's $4 less wood. That's it.
And easily $40 more stress and headache than
but it was $4 and then $40. It's not any. It's
So you have to come up with a strategy for selling guitars, and you have to cover your nut.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's we talk about it all the time. Building the guitar is the easy part.
Yeah.
Selling the guitar is slightly harder.
I had a young man, I'm assuming he was a young man, say to me, well, I've got to figure it out. I can build 200 guitars a year.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Here's my thing. Can you sell them as fast as you can make them? And if you can't, where are you going to put them all?
Yeah.
And if you have any left over from year one, what are you where are you going to, if you have one left over from year one and now you have 201.
Yeah.
Just like, and how much, just like some of these logistical things are a nightmare. Where you put all these damn things.
Yep. That's a great segue into our next question from Stan Burt. How's your bathroom coming, Stan? Hi guys from Australia.
Oi.
In round figures, how many guitars a week would you sell? Keep up the awesome show. 1.2479.
I think on a good week we sell more than one guitar.
Yes, we sell more than one guitar, but not two.
Yeah.
We would know if we sold 2 a week.
It's not unheard of to have some weeks where we sell 3 or 4 and some weeks where we sell none. So I would say like average.
Mm-hmm.
If we do a reveal video, we generally sell that guitar because we offer it at a great price. And we're going to do that tomorrow, by the way. Reveal tomorrow at 5. Awesome guitar, even awesomer price. It's a really awesome guitar. So I don't know if it's going to be an awesomer, but I'm going to price it right. But this week we have a guy ordered. We had a couple guitars that got ordered this week. So, it works out to be about 2 guitars a week-ish. Maybe a little less than 2 a week on average. That seems about right, doesn't it, Chris?
Yes.
And frankly, we are this close to needing another person. You know what I mean? How about this? If we all of a sudden started to average 3, 2.5, we need another guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Zitherbeast wants to know.
You mean Jay?
Yeah. How much generally do the daily drivers weigh? We were talking about Ash.
Oh,
this is not a bad.
I would say averaging around 7 pounds. Would you right in that neighborhood?
Well, average?
Yeah.
I would say averaging 8. Some of them are under 8. Some of them are slightly over 8.
All right. Yeah.
They're not heavy. So we talk about this a lot. An 8-pound guitar, when somebody picks it up, they don't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Under 8, they usually go, "Oh, this is light."
Somebody sent me an email. I'm sorry, I forgot. Bob? Was it Bob Bitchin who sent me an email? No, it wasn't Bob Bitchin. It was I can't remember. Asked me if we could make him a daily driver that weighed no more than 5.5 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ooh, that's a good, could we do it?
Mm-hmm.
I think we could, but you're going to need to acquiesce on a lot of, like, it'll look like a Telecaster, and it'll weigh 5.5 pounds or less. But like, you're going to need to acquiesce on how thick the body is,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not the body's solid, how long the scale length is. So you can imagine if you have a neck that is 25.5-inch scale, and I'm going to use this and this neck. Now, obviously this is not, okay, here's your guitar. This is Tony's Cavaquejo, but, and I'm probably butchering that again, Tony, I'm sorry. But if you have a shorter scale length, so instead of going 24 or 25.5, what if you went with a 24-inch scale neck? Okay. Jags had 24-inch scale necks, and they're shorter. You know, what if you made the neck out of mahogany instead of maple? But like, all of that stuff starts adding up fast. And ounces equal pounds when it comes to guitar. So, you know, tuners weigh whatever they weigh.
Small hinges swing big doors.
Well, yeah. So
yeah.
A bridge weighs whatever it's going to weigh. So if
Yep.
you get the bridge made out of something light, you can have a longer scale length. If you, I don't know, even stuff like, it might be one of those things where smaller fret wire weighs less than bigger fret wire. You know what I'm saying? So a neck plate weighs more than no neck plate, than glue. A great big chrome cover and a pick guard and screws weigh a lot more than not that. So yeah. Could you do it? Yeah. Would it be exactly like a Telecaster in every way? No.
Yep. Doug Cook says, wife already said we weren't moving to Denver. Sorry, guys, have to turn down the offer.
Well, that's a bummer.
You know, somebody like Doug is exactly the person that we would want.
Yes.
So
yes, someone like Doug would be ideal.
Yeah.
And that's apparently not happening.
Well, no.
So
no.
Yeah, you can't commute from Ohio, every day.
Yeah, that's a haul, man.
That's a long haul.
Yeah. The whole and so to follow up on our thing, a 7-pound guitar is light.
Yeah.
An 8-pound guitar is normal. Anything over 9 pounds, people start going,
my gosh.
oh yeah, holy cow. What's wrong with this guitar? How heavy is it? It's 9.2 pounds. Jesus.
Yeah.
And all those 13-pound Les Pauls that you heard of probably weighed 10 pounds. You know, and those are big swings. You put percentages on those numbers.
Yeah.
It's a lot more of a percentage.
It's a lot more.
Yeah. Oh, it's 30% more than what it should weigh.
Yeah.
And that's why.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
But
I like the idea. What do you think about doing that, Chris? Making like a super, super light guitar just to make.
Sure, that would be fun.
In our spare time.
Yeah.
With scrap wood.
Yep. I've been a weight nerd.
Have you?
Not in guitars, but in bicycles.
I have been a weight nerd in other stuff
life.
Too. Yeah.
Not anymore on bicycles or my own personal life.
Weight is, the older you get, size and weight constraints are a big deal.
Yep.
So even if you're not playing 3-hour, 4-hour, 5-hour nights, just having a lighter guitar is, I don't know that there's any real disadvantage to having a lighter guitar.
No. Laughing Daffodils actually has I have a basswood body.
Okay.
It's nice and light. Instrument sounds fine, but the wood literally just fell away from one of the screws.
Yeah.
That can be a thing.
That's a deal.
That's
a deal.
Yeah.
I think I would rather go with, we've got a guitar that's floating around here that is like 2.2 pounds, the body. And I think it's that, what's that Brad Paisley guitar made out of? That? I think it's that stuff. And the guy had us, whatever the fuck it is. And the guy had us put a spruce top on it. And It's crazy light, but it's also crazy frangible. I think I would rather hollow something out and have a sturdier wood, just less of it, you know. A guitar, an electric guitar built like an acoustic guitar, could weigh very, very little.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah. Will you do a 24 3/4 scale neck on a daily or Sunday driver?
As a matter of fact, we do offer that, and I have templates for it. The cool thing is I like making whole guitars. I like making whole guitars better than I like making bits for a guitar these days. So yeah, if you want a 24 3/4 scale daily, no sweat, got you covered. We're ready to go, good to go, and we can do custom inlay now too.
Yeah.
Listen, we got time for one more, Chris. You got one more?
One more question. Yeah, things are already devolving.
Okay.
Hang on.
Into weight things or into just like diarrhea jokes?
No, well, no, not quite that far yet. What do you think of Dan Electro guitars?
I don't have a dog in that hunt.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to finish up with what Matt thinks of Dan Electro guitars. I think so. Dan Electro guitars from the 60s?
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s.
Super cool. Jam up. I think that Dan Electro guitars from the 2000s, probably okay, but not the same vintage kind of flavor. And they're not made in the United States, and that shouldn't mean a big deal, but it does to me. If you have a Dan Electro guitar and you want me to be super stoked about it, or if you have a Dan Electro guitar and you want to find out what I think is the neatest Dan Electro guitar, go to a website called danarmstrong.org and do a little bit of searching and look up. Dan Armstrong bought like a bunch of Dan Electros and fixed them up and had the Dan Armstrong logo. It was kind of this like 60s kind of bubble letter font. And they were really cool. And if I could have any Dan Electro I wanted, it would be a Dan Armstrong modified, tuned up Dan Electro with his logo on it that he did in the whenever it was. I can't remember when it was. I've only seen one of them. And
in person,
and I should have bought it, and I didn't, and it's probably doubled in value. And it wasn't that long ago that I saw it. So I think that if you're going to have a Dan Electro, you should have a Dan Armstrong Dan Electro. That's a cop-out answer, but that's what I think. So guys, thanks for watching our Thursday live stream. It's always great to sit and hang out with you guys and answer questions. I hope that I answer them to your satisfaction. And if not, you can tune in on Sunday and tell me that, you know, I'm a big jerk, a sexy, handsome jerk. So, and we also have a reveal coming up tomorrow. Chris has been working real hard on it. It's a super cool guitar. Like I said, I'm going to make Chris have an aneurysm with how cheap I'm going to price it. And he just did this. No, don't do that to me. So guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow and we'll see you Sunday. If you're planning on coming out to the Mike Learn class or the Build a Classic Set Neck, I am stoked to have you guys come out. It's going to be so much fun. Looking forward to it. Until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time.